Hello there, I'm Julian, and we're with Wildcat Legends Radio. And today we're with Miss Debbie Jones from the Wildflower wedding venue. And today we're going to hear a little bit about what that is. So tell me, what is the Wildflower wedding venue?
Well, Julian, we are an event space here in Emory that we host plenty of different types of events, weddings primarily, but we also do proms. We've done proms for Rains for the last few years and are looking forward to doing it this year, as well as just smaller events such as baby showers, wedding showers, parties. We just completed our 5th year, 2022, wrapped up our 5th year in business. So we are just trudging right on into 2023 and looking forward to all the parties.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at prom last year. It was a beautiful sight.
Oh, that's awesome. I hope you have a lot of fun this year too.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. So so you started 5 years ago, and what gave you the idea to start this up?
Well, the Wildflower is a family joint venture, and it's actually interesting how it came to be. I had gotten ordained online to perform the marriage ceremony for a friend of mine back probably 10, 11 years ago. I worked with her at the time. So I officiated her wedding. And in doing that, word kind of got out, and so I would be asked to officiate the ceremonies for others. And in doing that, I would get to go visit other venues. And I would come home and tell my husband, I really want to own a wedding venue. And he would say, you have lost your mind. And it turns out that both of those are probably accurate statements. But so as we progressed in planning, we recruited my brother and sister-in-law, Brian and Lisa Carter, as well as our son and daughter-in-law, Tyler and Cher Jones, jumped on board, and we decided let's just pull our resources and find some land and design a building and construct. Kevin and I were initially looking at just finding maybe a historical building here in Rains County that we could convert to a venue, but there really just wasn't anything that would fit our vision, I guess. So we set about and finding some property, and we found the perfect spot, and thus the Wildflower Wedding and Special Event Venue was born.
Yeah, and that's a good thing it was.
Yeah.
So while you were coming up with the idea, you said you had some challenges with finding a place because you're trying to look for something like a historical marker.
Absolutely,
almost.
Absolutely.
Were there any other challenges besides that?
Oh, plenty of challenges. You know, when you set about to build a business such as we did, it's not only a financial investment, but it's also a huge investment of your time and your energy. My husband has his own construction company, and I too was working full time at the time we started the Wildflower. So it was certainly a challenge for the both of us to balance, the duties that came along with building this business that became incredibly successful really quick. And, we didn't really anticipate that coming, I guess. So, and then not only, you had the challenges of construction, of just making it happen and building it and making sure it was complete by this date, when we were ready to start opening our doors and host our first wedding and all of that. But then also came with it the challenges of it was foreign territory to us. And we knew from the 6 of us that are partners, we knew it would be myself and my husband managing it and running it and building it primarily because we were the only ones here, living here in Rains County. And so we had to really quick learn what that meant. We got really excited when we booked our first wedding, and then when the second one came and the third one came, and it was like a year out because we were in construction, and we're like, oh, this is going to be so great. Well, then the closer it got to the building being completed and that first wedding date, we were like, oh, we have got to learn how to make this happen. We've never, it was foreign territory. We'd never done anything like that before. So it was just, lots of challenges then that came along the way of just the learning process. But it was very surprising to me how organic it all felt, and it was, and it came to be. It was just, it was just part of the plan, and we just rolled with it. And so, and then we hit the ground running. And 2 years into, well, 2 years into hosting events, we had 50 something weddings, not to mention other events booked in 2020, and along came COVID. So that was certainly something that we never saw coming, that completely affected what we did in the wedding business as a whole. So that presented a whole new set of challenges, which we had to just navigate through, and
For something that's so public based, like, how did you take that business through COVID? Because it seems hard, at least to me.
Yes, with a lot of grace, of not only on our part, but certainly our clients' parts, because the day they had been dreaming of and planning for probably a year at least, no longer was going to happen, and just like the blink of an eye. So it was very nerve-wracking, I will say, and emotional, for a lot of us, because there again, it was something that there's no way to plan for something like that. We had in our minds planned for things that could happen, that could affect, say weather or anything like that could affect our ability to do business, and to make the events that we had planned happen. We never foresaw a pandemic. None of us did. So we just, I just kind of stepped back and took a deep breath and told my brides and my couples, I don't know how we're going to make this happen, but we're going to make this happen. We're going to do it together. And we did. And so I think finally last year, our last COVID couple got married. There was a lot of rescheduling because, again, nobody knew when it was over, when it would be over, so it was just a crazy time. But we learned a lot about flexibility during that time.
Yeah, I bet.
Totally. And just, just kind of not letting yourself get all wrapped up in the stress of it. Very much just kind of like I said, just showing, it was a hard lesson for me to show myself some grace, because I wanted everything to be perfect, and by no means did that come into play. But
well, yeah, the customer is always going to be very important, and with something like that really had to have been hard.
Absolutely, especially when it's their wedding day, or any other important, significant event, milestone for them that they plan to celebrate. So.
Yeah, I also had a relative who, during COVID, their wedding ended up getting canceled because of COVID. Yeah,
it's stressful. So then we had to set about finding alternate dates going forward into that year when we were already booked up, and even into the next year, and even into 22, the first part of that. So we made it happen, though, and it was by the good fortune of working with some very beautiful people that we've met along the way and had the pleasure of serving. So,
and that sounds like a good amount of perseverance on your part too. So, on a more positive note, what has been the best part, in your opinion, of the whole business?
The best part, in my opinion, is absolutely the celebration, whether it be wedding day and a new beginning for folks that I've grown close to in the course of working through the wedding planning process and everything, and seeing that day come alive according to their vision, and being part of making that happen. And also just celebrating, like when you guys have prom. I love observing some of that, and it takes me back to my days of going to prom, and just, recollections of the good times and all of that. And so that, for me, has been the most beautiful part of this. Is some of my other jobs I held in careers weren't always helping people navigate through the sunny part of their days, if you will. It was they were in bad spots typically. So when the wedding venue came to be, and when I was able to focus on that, it was quite definitely a shining light, because people are happy, for the most part when they're with us. So I love that.
It's really too bad the world can't be more full of joy. So,
isn't it?
Can you tell me a little something, like, for someone who's getting married, like, what all services does your wedding venue provide? I mean, you provide the location, but what else?
Absolutely. We provide chairs, tables. We set up for them, according to what their vision of how the venue they want it to look, their wedding day or their day of their event. It's not always a wedding. And then we're also present during that event to help with whatever needs to be done. I have a staff, a very wonderful staff that I depend on a lot and that are just fabulous. We could not do what we do without them. And a lot of times we're bussing tables or we're taking out trash or we're cleaning bathrooms or whatever needs to be done. So it isn't all glamorous by any means, but we always seem to manage to find the fun in all of it. And then I also spend a lot of time along the months in between when particularly a couple books with us and then wedding day happens, just planning, just helping guide through the planning process or being there for them to come out for another on-site visit to take a look at things again and that sort of thing. So
That makes sense. And
yeah.
with so much of that time dedicated towards the planning and all of it, really, like, how do you juggle your home life and all that planning time? How do you make the magic happen?
Well, that's an interesting question. Very carefully. Fortunately for us, we were able to move 2 years in. We were able to purchase property next door to the venue property and where the venue is, and build a house. And so we were able to move from the East Waukene area to Emory, right by the venue, which totally simplified life. Just I can't even measure, how much. It allowed me to be able to more show those home duties, laundry, cooking, those kind of things that I really had not had the opportunity to do much of, because I would spend so much time when I wasn't working at the venue just meeting clients for tours, for planning sessions, or just cleaning and doing other things that the whole, business entails. So it definitely freed me up to be able to keep that balance with my home life and work. And still days it's a juggling, and that's true whether you're doing what we do, whether you're doing what you do, if doing what Mr. Lance does. We all have to learn that skill of balancing and still making time to find the pleasure, in the day.
And so for my last question personally, is there anything else really that you want to tell the community?
Oh, I just would like the community to know how much we have appreciated and continue to appreciate all the love and support, that we get from our community from the minute we started this journey. From the minute we announced what we were doing, it was nothing but an outpouring of love and support. And that there's nothing that we enjoy better than to offer a place for folks to gather. You kiddos, just all types of organizations from our area and the surrounding areas. So absolutely, we could not choose a better place to live than Rains County and Emory.
And you have made Emory quite an amazing place.
That is very, very sweet of you to say, and kind.
Well, I mean, personally, for me, I experience the prom part of it all the time. I'm guessing not too many people experience the wedding part multiple times, but
let's hope not, right?
yeah. Well,
we don't encourage that, right?
We don't encourage it. But we're in that
Sometimes
era.
it happens, so, but yes.
But
we're very much looking forward to y'all's prom this year too. So.
Yeah, and I personally hope that at some point someone in my family has a wedding at your venue, because
it just could be you. You never know.
You never
Let's
know.
give it 10 years down the road, Julie, and you never know.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll appreciate it when the time comes.
Yes, thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for listening. This has been Wildcat Legends News, the school radio. Please feel free to like this episode, listen, give us a 5-star rating. You know, whatever you want to do to make us feel good and make yourself feel good. Because not only is it an act of generosity on your part, but it improves the amount of people who listen and get important news such as information on the Wildflower wedding venue. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Miss Debbie Jones, and have a great day.
You're most welcome, and thank you.